Alright, so we back with another video. Today we got y'all boys with another build video, but we're gonna be doing a build wars. Now I only did one of these so far this year. We was going over guards. Today we're gonna be going over bigs. We're gonna be going over the difference between making like a smaller big man build compared to making like a regular big man build. Y'all do want more of these. I do plan on doing the same thing for locks, but I also plan on doing it comparing and contrasting different heights that's closer to each other than these. I'm just really trying to compare what's the better way to make a big man build, what's the better way to make a lock build, and I already did what's the better way to make a guard. If you haven't seen that, the link to that will be in the description. But yeah, y'all do want more of these, make sure to like the video. Hopefully you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, comment down below, help the algorithm, all that good stuff out the way. Let's hop into it. Alright, hopping into it, Young and Mim don't really matter for the making the build. We just gonna be comparing and contrasting, but right hand for every single time. Now, when you're gonna make a big man build, it does come to how you want to make it. When I make my smaller big man builds, I do tend to make them power forward. That's just what I do. Sometimes I make them center. If it's an inside, I may actually make it center, but I tend to make them on the smaller side power forward. So if you could even group the 6'6" big I dropped, you can group this with this. Now, the smaller ones, I kind of do tend to see them more so as park big man builds. Because when you're in the park, you got to guard the pick and roll, and the big has to be able to switch with the lock sometimes. Because there's a lot of 99 3-ball builds, there's a lot of 99 speed ball builds. Lock's not really able to just stick them screens the way screens are on this game and stay with them guards, especially with the way they be fading. So you kind of do need a big that can play sides and that can switch on to the guard. So simple as that. So I'm going to say the 6'7" is better than 6'6". Now, if you want to make a 6'7", you're going to go max wingspan, and you're going to go up on the weight. I believe 263 is what I usually go. Yeah, 263, so you can be able to have that 96 defensive rebound. So, we're just going to compare and contrast certain different things on how expensive it is to get these things on the build. Now, if I was to make a 6'7", 263 weight, 7'3" wingspan big man build, look at the steel. You won't be able to get that on a 7'1". Look at the strength. You're getting 99 strength. So we're gonna be able to compare and contrast those consistently. But the block, 6'7" builds block rating not gonna be nowhere near the same as the 7'1". So you're gonna have a higher steal, higher perimeter defense. You can pretty much have the same interior defense. That's not gonna be too different. But the block, steal, perimeter defense, agility, speed, vertical are all gonna be different, and the rebounding. The rebounding is gonna be another big difference, just like the block. So if you go bigger, rebounding, block gonna be higher. If you go with the 6'7", you're gonna have the ability to have better perimeter defense, steal, agility, speed, and vertical. Simple as that. Now, you would also think you would probably be able to have better shooting. That's just not the case. It's around the same, I'm not gonna lie. Driving up is gonna be higher. Standing up, you can have the same capabilities. The one thing I will say for the taller ones though, you do get the standing contact dunks. And then when it comes to layup, that really tends to be on how you want to make it. Post control, you can get slightly higher, but you can get a 96 post control on this very build I'm showing you guys right now. Pass accuracy, pretty much the same. And then ball handle, speed ball, you would obviously get that higher on a 6'7". But let's hop into it and see the difference of how it will be if I want to upgrade these things on a 6'7" build. So let's start it out with strength. If I want to have a 99 strength on this build, that's a 56 overall. Say for instance, if I wanted to make it at 7'1" and I wanted to have 99 strength, we're gonna reset that. So it was 56 overall, now it is a 72 overall. Now why is that? Because it's directly with interior defense, and your interior defense on this one is at 89. So yes, it's more expensive to get 99, but you gotta think about it with cap breakers. If you want to just go 94, it's still probably gonna be higher because it is directly with interior defense. But that would probably be the way you would probably have to make it if you went 7'1", because instead of it being a 72, now it's a 60 overall. And that's why cap breakers kind of can make these builds really, really crazy. So yeah, that's one of the things for a 7 foot. Now, if I wanted to do pass accuracy, that's another one that we can directly compare. Pass accuracy, 53 overall. If I was to make it at 6'7", don't really have to change too much here. 72 overall. And look at why. It's because the ball handle is directly attached to the pass accuracy. So strength is much cheaper on 6'7". Pass accuracy is much cheaper on a 7'1". Simple as that. Now, next thing that we can compare and contrast very much directly is the standing dunk, which is actually a pretty important one. 199 standing up, that's going to be 67 overall. This is just comparing and contrast what's cheaper. Like, it's just all the way to the end. Now, if I was to make it 7'1", it's gonna be a 64. So I ain't gonna lie, I don't even remember. So 64, let me check it real quick just to see, make sure I'm not tripping. 67. So I believe the 7'1" was cheaper. I think it was 64 compared to a 67, but that's literally the closest out of the two so far. So you already understand that the 7'1" has cheaper standing up. The 7'1" has cheaper pass accuracy. The 6'7" has cheaper strength. Simple as that. Now, to go alongside that, you're gonna have max this. We're gonna get this up just to be able to have the 96. We can compare and contrast how cheap it is to get 96 rebound. Now, if you was to go for 96 rebound, you are doing it to pretty much get rebound chasing to a certain level. That's what we're gonna compare and contrast, because you cannot get 96 offensive rebound on a 6'7". But the way you would do it on a 6 or 7'1" would probably be offensive rebound, which is why you see a lot of guys with 99 offensive rebound on the taller builds compared to the smaller ones. So 96, you would be at 46 overall. If you was to make it at 6 or 7'1", you would be at a 62 overall. So even if you do it with offensive rebound on a 7'1" build, it would be a 62 overall compared to being a 46 overall. And that's just because it's just attached to less things. Simple as that. Now, when it comes to the block rating, you only can get an 87 block rating on a 6'7" build. So 87 block, 7'1", 56 overall. You want to make it the same way as 6'7". For now, we just gonna do it like this because I'm not finna keep going back and forth on the positions. If I was to do it 87, I believe that's cheaper than it was on the 7'1". So now you realize that to get the same block, get the same tier of rebound chaser, it is cheaper to do it with the 6'7" than it is the 7'1". Simple. Now, another thing that you actually can compare and contrast that I almost did forget was interior defense. How could I forget it? Very important on this game. 99 interior defense, 59 overall. If I was to do the same thing at 7'1", 72. So it's obviously just cheaper at 6'7" to do a lot of the same things that you would do at 7'1". So why would you make a 7'1" when you can make a 6'7" that's way more versatile in terms of being able to play the pick and roll, way more versatile at playing passing lanes, way more versatile at being fast, which is so important on this game? Why would you make it? The 7'1" just having the height, so whenever you're going against smaller people, majority of the time, you're going to be able to just go up and over them. Simple as that. You're going to be able to play better defense in the paint because you're just taller. Simple as that. Just even having a 7'1", 7'6" wingspan, that's not even the max wingspan you can have on a 7'1". Max wingspan you can have is a 7'10". Now, would I make this if I was to be a popper? Probably not. It probably would be somewhere around 7'6". But you can make a 7'10" wingspan, 7'1" big, because if you look at my 6'7", they usually only have like a 72 or 73 3 ball, and I'd be straight with that. So it really does depend on how you want to do it. But 7'10" wingspan, 7'1", you're gonna lose stuff on strength, so you would have to go even higher on this. And now you won't even be able to have 59 speed. So it's like you lose so much on speed just going max wingspan. So at the end of the day, just going 7'1", where you can save some on speed, you only get 2 difference on speed. So it's like you losing stuff on speed, you losing stuff on agility. It's cheaper to make it with rebound. It's cheaper to make it with block. Yes, it's cheaper to have interior defense. Yes, it's cheaper to have pass accuracy, standing up on a 7'1", but when it comes to getting all these other things cheaper on a 6'7", when it comes to be able to do more on the perimeter on a 6'7", when it comes to be able to guard more positions on a 6'7", I just think the versatility that the 6'7" gives you just outweighs I guess the big man ability of a 7'1", especially when you can also guard 7'1" on a 6'7" in a right hands. Now, can everybody guard a 7'1" on a 6'7"? Can a 6'7" guard every 7'1"? Let me make sure we say that. Every 7'1"? Probably not. I'm not gonna lie. There are some 7'1" out there that got like stupid high post control with stupid high standing up. So let me show you guys a 7'1" somebody probably can't guard. Boom, boom, boom. They got this. I'm sorry. Like, even if they don't got this, they can have this. Bro, I'm telling you, if they do this, if they just do the cat breakers, it's still not getting guarded by a 6'7". It's just impossible. Not only do they have the post control that'll just drop step you every single time, they also will have the standing dunk to just dunk on you every single time, and they'll have the close shot to, even if they don't get a dunk, it's most likely gonna go in every single time. So yeah, this is like the one thing. The only way you can really guard this, like, is if you're standing as close as you physically can to the 7'1" the entire game. Like, you cannot ever leave their hips. So that means all that versatility that you have in the pick and roll is now gone. You have to literally stick close to them and let the person down screen. You have to really keep them as far away from the rim as possible. Now, when they start doing post control and they start doing post spins, that's when it gets tough. When they start doing all that stuff, hop shots, they start doing pump fakes, because if you don't know, pump fakes make your player jump more the higher the post control is because of that one badge. So the higher they have that one badge, it's going to be even tougher for you. So it's a lot of different things that you kind of have to worry about for the 6'7". I personally would rather the 6'7", but I'm not of the delusional fact that you can guard every single taller big on a 6'7" like you could on a 7'1". But I will say though, on a 7'1", if you was to go against this, you may have a tough time with this as well. I'm not gonna lie. It just is what it is. Now, the way I probably would make a 6'7", or not 6'7", 7'1", I'd probably try to go for like 91. And if I was to go for 91, I probably would just try to do cat breakers for this. If you try to do cat breakers, you still gotta do it like this because it has to have the max capability. So I would only be able to have a 65 speed, and 65 speed is not very fast. It just isn't. So just thinking about it, just looking at it when it comes, just even looking at the speed that I would be able to have on a 6'7" with 263 on my weight. Now, if you've seen my 6'7s, I have 85 speed. I can raise my speed. Just look at it. I can have 90 vertical. I can have 99 strength. I can have 78 agility. I can have badges like on ball menace. I can have badges like pit dodger. I can have badges like legend glove, legend interceptor. Bro, the versatility is just what I value. But if you just value the positional dominance of just being able to stick centers and just being worried about centers, okay. Now, the only thing I say about the 7'1" that is kind of bad, though, even when you going against bigs, this year, more than ever, a lot of people putting shooting on their bigs. And when I be on my big, the best shooter on the other team, 9 times out of 10, is the big. Now, if it's the park, it can still be the big. If it's the 5s, it can still be the big. Like, I'm just saying, like, the guards that be having 99 3 balls don't even really be the problem. It be the poppers. It really do. It be the bigs. It really do. Now, in the 2s, it's different. I don't know what it is about the 2s and the 3s and the 5s. 3s and 5s, the bigs be hooping. 2s, you can leave the bigs open. They be trolling. I ain't gonna lie. So, I don't know. But that's just me. In my opinion, I do value the versatility. But another thing I would have to say about 7'1" is you can't really guard on the perimeter, even your man. So, if your man is shooting 3s and you have low perimeter defense, they can just shoot over you. That's one thing that's really overpowered about the bigs as well, that you can say on the other side. If you're a big and you're 7'1" with 3-point shooting, a 6'7" trying to contest you on the perimeter is not going to be consistently able to get contest on you because you're taller. When it comes to shooting over people, it's just easier. So just imagine if you ever get switched on, because a lot of these bigs don't even like guarding you, so they may even switch somebody smaller on you, especially if you stay on the perimeter, which I just don't think is smart for a tall big, by the way. But just imagine they just put like a 6'6" lock on you, and now they're trying to contest you. You can shoot over those. You can. It's like if you're a 6'7" or a 6'5" sharp, and somebody put a 5'9" on you. You're shooting over those. It just is what it is. No matter how high their perimeter defense is, you're shooting over those. It just is what it is. That's just how this game works. But yeah, that's my compare and contrast of the differences between making a popper and a real big man build. If y'all do want more of these build wars, going over the differences of, I will be doing the real build wars eventually. I just got to get the lock video out for y'all boys. We already did the guard. We're doing the big right now. I got to do the lock. Then we will be comparing, contrasting actual builds. I've seen some pretty rare builds in this game. I'm still trying to get out all my builds though. Like all around star though, that joint, that's one of the best names 2K ever dropped. I'm gonna be going over some rare builds. We're gonna be doing build wars, going over some of the best builds, comparing and contrasting those. Just make sure to stay tuned, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff out the way. Without further ado, man, it's your boy Fitz. I'm out of here, man.
I got a digital dash, came right with a I walk in the store and I buy the stock. I hide in the bins and pull out the lot. Got Tiffany diamond, it cost me a lot. They flying like birds.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah!